Welcome to Prepare For Takeoff. I'm the creator and host, Terry Osiris. We're the podcast dedicated to amplifying Black excellence. Every week, we sit down with a proven professional or a rising entrepreneur. This week, we're sitting down with international yoga teacher and scholar, Nino Mendes. Nino, what's going on, fam?
I'm good. And you? Thank you for having me.
This is the first time that we've had somebody join us from Bali. First off, thank you for giving us your time, and salute to all of what it is you're doing there and what we would know here stateside is paradise.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. You're welcome to come anytime you want to.
Hey, man, I plan on getting over there soon. So with all that being said, I know it didn't start from you in Bali. Where did it start from you?
I was born in a small village named Nantua in France. And that's where my mom is from Cape Verde Island. So I'm from Cape, Cape Verde?
Yes,
Cabo
absolutely.
Verde. So that's where I was born. I was born in France in a tiny little village named Nantua in the middle of nowhere. 3,060 inhabitants. And at that time, we were the only Black family. So that was interesting, man.
Wow.
That's where I'm from.
I know from here stateside, you always hear the racial dynamic is a lot better in other countries, such as France and other parts of Europe. So what was that like growing up, being one of the only Black families in that small village?
I'm talking about like a long time ago. Honestly, bro, I wouldn't say that was too rough, but sometime it was. But overall, that was kind of cool. I remember we went to a Catholic school. I felt a little differences, but I wouldn't say like I suffered a lot from racism. Like that came later in my life. But as a kid, a little bit, but not that much. Because my mom, got us right. We just ignore it. We just roll with it. So I didn't suffer that much. It's later I realized some stuff.
Okay. And later, were you still in France or were you in another part of the world when you started to experience some of those things?
That's when I started going to clubs in France, bro. Like something people don't know about it. Like I wasn't getting in my late teens. Like I was like, why? How come I don't get in? And in France back in the days, like if you were Black or North African, you wouldn't get in. So then I started getting into acting, and one of my teacher told me, if you want to succeed, you gotta go in America. And I said, why? It's like because in America, African Americans and people your color, they are in movies. In France, they're not at that time. So that's why I moved to America in my late teens to study acting in New York City.
And see, I didn't know
HB
that.
Studio.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. People don't know that, but like, let's put it that way. When I was a teen, and even now, today's, if you and I were going to a club, we wouldn't get in, bro. I mean, 100%. I'm saying straight facts. So then, racism in France, now they speak it more, but it's always been there. That wasn't really out there, like voiced and stuff, but that was, and it's still there. I would be lying if I tell you it's not. It is, bro. It's just like we're subtle.
Right. And I tell people all the time, man, colonialism was a global thing. It wasn't just relegated to America. It was just something that happened across the world. And because of colonialism, a lot of people who don't look like us, they feel as though they're superior to us. And they want to obviously whitewash the history as we know it to be after we do our due diligence. But that's not something that is taught to us. We're led to believe that we're one thing when we're actually another. And a lot of times when people hear us stateside, they kind of assume, oh, if I leave the country, then so too will leave the horrors of slavery and all of those things that we've had to live through for 400 years here in the United States. And then from that, we had to go through Jim Crow and before that Reconstruction. So we know our history, but a lot of people, they don't know the history of things that took place in Europe. And I've been taught this from friends of mine that are from different parts of Europe. And oftentimes they say, that's why I came to the States, because their views were so conservative where they felt as though they would have a better chance of succeeding, especially in entertainment, if they were to leave. Yes. And that sounds like that's the same thing that prompted you to come to New York.
Yeah, that totally, man. It's like, and one thing I feel really grateful about is like I experienced being Black in all continents, in Asia, in Europe, in America, in Africa. So this I'm very happy about because people don't really see like the way that people perceive us is like international, but in different ways. You know what I mean? It's like in Asia, we talked about before the interview, like in China, here in Bali, in Japan, and whatever. So it's very interesting. I really recommend people just to travel, bro. It's like travel, see for yourself. because medias, they be lying to us. And I mean, it's a fact. When I was in China for COVID-19, and I like people to know that for sure, bro. I was here. I was in the eye of the storm, as you say in America, right? And what people were media, social medias, and news and everything were saying about COVID-19 was fake, bro. That was fake because I was there. I was in the middle of it and be showing people dying in the street and blah blah blah. And man, it's so fake news, bro. So I would say one thing, bro. Like beware of fake news. Fake news is a real thing. So I would recommend people just travel and see for yourself. Don't listen to me. Don't even listen to books. Whatever. Just do it for yourself, man. Open your eyes and see what's up.
Have your own experience. I agree. You came to New York. Talk to me about what that experience was like. Was it an adjustment period? Where did you land in New York when you posted up?
First, I landed the East Village. No, I landed in Jersey in a hotel. Okay. I was like, what am I going to do here? My English, I didn't speak that well at that time. I mean, I was speaking but not the same type of English, because American English and the English we were studying in school is totally different. So I was like, okay, let me try to see what I'm going to do. So not that much money, no friends, alone in Jersey in a hotel. And I give a call to youth hostel in East Village. And they're like, oh, do you have rooms over there? It's like, yeah, very cheap rooms. And I stayed here for a couple of nights. And then the woman in there is like, oh, your English is okay. Do you want to work here? It's like, okay, I'm going to work here. And then I went to see, okay, how can I work in America? How can I get a visa? So I went to HB Studio in Bank Street in New York City, and I registered for a program. So I started studying acting, right? So I was working, bartending, bouncer, everything. And then I started partying too hard, bro. I started drinking too much. To make it fast, I ended up living in Harlem, 129th Street and Lexington Avenue.
Okay.
And I was in the middle of the ghetto, broke, high all day, trying to I don't know, survive and study acting in your city. And I ended up working in a bar named Harlem Grill, and that was like the ghetto celebrity bar. And I was behind the bar, and then like when I was in France, I was looking at videos like hip hop videos, Tupac Shakur. I grew up on that, bro. And in my mind at that time, I was living it, man. I was living my American dream, which was a ghetto dream. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. And then I was like, okay, I'm living and smoking and bartending, making a lot of money. And then, as we said earlier, there's something glamorous about the ghetto life and what you see in videos, but there's some truth about it that you don't see, like unless you live it. So the way they portray hip hop culture is beautiful. But then I remember telling myself, but wait a minute, I didn't think there were people actually on crack and prostitution and gang violence and shooting and all that stuff. So then I left and I discovered yoga, and yoga gave me a different direction while I was in New York City.
So now, what led to you discovering yoga?
So I came to acting school with a busted eye because I got into a fight or something. I don't even remember why, bro. So one of my teachers, like, Nino, because I was always reading about philosophy. So I heard about yoga years ago. Like, there's this guy named Dharma Mitra. He teaches in 23rd and 3rd. I think you should go see him. It's like, really? It's like, yeah, go see that guy, bro. And I met in yoga, we call it guru. He was 70 years old at that time. And I met him. I saw him. I took a class. That class was super painful, but I didn't give up, right? And at the end of the class, he comes to me. He's like, you should be coming to this class every day. And I was like, really? He's like, come to this class every day. And this class wasn't a master class, because in this class, only the best teachers of New York were practicing. And I didn't know that. That's why I was really bad, because it was my first class, but people in class were so good. And he told me, okay, keep practicing in that corner. And I practiced in that corner like for half a year. And then one day, he didn't even know my name. He was like, you, come in the middle. He's like, show us something. And I was doing great, man, because I don't know what happened. I was transformed because I practiced every day. 2 hours in the afternoon at 12. And then alone by myself, I was reading book. So this guy, he just changed my life. And then later on, as I get to know, he is like this kind of yoga guru, internationally known. And his name is Dharma Mitra. And Dharma Mitra is like the yoga master. And I didn't know that, man. So it'll come up from that teacher looking at me is like, oh, this guy needs some kind of help. So I did some yoga.
Let me pour into him. And that's really the thing, man. That's what I pride myself as well as my organization, pouring into people that may not otherwise be pouring into. And imagine if he didn't pour into you. There's no telling what may have happened. Like you said, it saved your life. So if you were to describe yoga, how would you describe it?
I'm going to quote like a friend of mine. His name is Russell Simons. And he said like, yoga is the science of happiness. And I kind of like that one, man, because that make it simple. For me, yoga is going to help you be happier because you find yourself. Like yoga is the road to self-discovery. So we have this thing called asana. So people like they see the physical practice of it, but like my body is only a part of me. You know what I mean? It's not all I am. So yoga make me realize that I'm much more than I think I was and I am, you know. In yoga, we have this saying like Soham. Soham in Sanskrit for I am that I am. I am everything. I am the sun, I'm the sky. And like yoga expanding is gonna expand your mind and make you realize that you're boundless, you know, you're infinite. Like we are souls trapped in bodies. You know what I mean? It's like yoga is gonna get you in touch with your soul, and you know, I know yoga is like a lifestyle. For me, yoga is like everything. It's the way I see the word. So let's say I got those glasses now, and the way I see the word is one way, and I put my yoga glasses, and I'm like, oh my God. We call this like awakening, enlightenments. When people get enlightenment, like they see lights, yoga is gonna bring. I mean, it brought light to my life, literally. From a dark place, I went to a better place. Because once you get deep within, you realize, you know, the power of the spirit, man. Yoga is going to get you in touch with your spirit. And it doesn't matter, you can be Muslim, Christian, whatever. It's a kind of a mystic science. That's the way I see it.
So now that happened right away. I know you said you went to that one class and then that yoga master said, come back. At what point in time did your mindset change that this is going to be my new normal? Was that after an extended period of time being in the classes, or was it almost instantaneous?
This guy was 70, now he's 86 years old, right? So he was in like his late 60s or whatever. And I was being physical. And I remember telling myself, man, this old man is schooling me, right? He was doing all kind of stuff, bro. It's like handstands, splits, back bends, like twists, like super strong. So the first thing I was surprised, and there was also like another old lady in the room. I was like, oh, those people really old, like to me, and they're so athletic. So like I want to be like that, and my ego got bruised. You know what I mean? Because I was like Nino from Harlem, like that, doing Muay Thai and boxing. It's like those guys, like they look like weak and very peaceful, very old, and they were like super strong and powerful. And there was something very powerful in their personalities. And I was like, oh, I want that too. I want to be like that guy when I'm old. And I'm still trying to. I want to be like my teacher when I'm 86 years old. He's 86 years old and he's still teaching yoga every day and he's doing amazing.
That makes a lot of sense. You had that light bulb moment and you seen this person say, this guy is, I'm sure he was probably 2 generations older than you. He wasn't even your parents' age. He was your grandparents' age. And your grandfather, who could be your grandfather, is schooling everybody, including you. So he got your respect from the door.
Yes, he got my respect. And, you know, like as a dude, like at that time, I was kind of all about respect, show me something. And some people, they talk about it, and some people, they embody it. You know what I mean? So he was embodying what he was saying. And that's another thing about yoga. We have like the body, mind, and spirit, and they all come together. Because some people, they over spiritual, I believe, and some people, they might be over physical. And like some of the people, they're like, boom, like right in the middle, like the middle way. And it was that.
So you see yoga as the perfect happy medium, if you will, between all of those things coming together as one. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, everything.
Yeah, it's like it's balance, you know, like the first thing yoga, physical yoga is going to teach you is physical balance, right? And we all know, like, you know, somatic experiences, like whatever your mind is experiencing, your body is experiencing, and vice versa. So when it comes to yoga, like your body is going to be balanced. You're going to eat better, you're going to sleep better, you're going to stand better. So your mind is going to adjust to it. So we call it like a body and mind practices. And actually, this one of them. There's a lot of body and mind practices. I'm doing martial art, I'm doing Tai Chi. Now, everything I do is related to this yoga state of mind. Yoga is like a state of mind, and I think that's the mistake that people are having. You don't really practice yoga. Yoga is a state of mind, it's like the way you see the world, you know what I mean? So we, like in the old books, they said that warriors were in yoga. So let's say your master tell you, okay, you have to go in the jungle to be in yoga. So what is yoga? Yoga is union. Find yourself and then come back and fight. You know what I mean? It's like meditate in the morning and then go out there in the world and get it.
It's a matter of centering yourself physically and emotionally. And as a result, I'm sure it's not anything that you don't think you can do. Believing that is half the battle. Sometimes we develop paralysis by analysis and we overthink and we doubt ourselves. Before we even fail, we don't even run the race. So how are you going to win if you don't even run the race? And a lot of times we're afraid to step into the unknown. And just, I can tell from your story, you're somebody that's from a small village in France. Then you go to one of the 8 wonders of the world, which is New York City. You find yourself living in hostels and then you end up finding yourself in Harlem. You come to the yoga studio, your eyes busted up. And now this dude who could be your grandfather is like, yo, I'm about to put you on. and I'm going to show you all of these things that is completely foreign to you. Immediately, he got your respect. And then more importantly, he sees something in me. This person who's schooling me, he sees something in me that I may not even see in myself. And I know as far as me early on in my career, that is huge. And that's why I try to do that all the time, try to pour into people. Because if somebody sees something, especially if they're older than me, and I have a level of respect and admiration for who they are and what it is they see themselves doing, and they see something in me, then it makes me feel even more strongly and be more steadfast and determined that if they see it, it's just a matter of me seeing it. And it's a lot easier than people weighing you down, watching the 6 o'clock news, seeing people on the news that looks like you in a negative capacity. If you're seeing any of the things that, like you said, is glorified that involves people of color, it's not always necessarily uplifting. I would say to some extent, that was the original fake news. I'm going to show people of color in a marginalized capacity, and I'm going to have you to believe that. And a lot of us, sad but unfortunately true, we talk debate. But then when someone, especially even someone outside of our community, pours into us, that can serve as a force multiplier. So at some point, you say, it's time for me to leave Harlem. Where was your next stop?
I went to Queens.
Okay.
And then there's always a love story involved, right? So I was with this French lady at that time, and then another big event in my life. My son was born, bro. My son was born. It's like, wow. So now I'm in New York City. I'm a struggling actor slash model and doing yoga, and I have to take care of somebody else. So then, like, my teacher came to me. It's like, yo, Dharma, I'm gonna have a kid. And he looked at me. He's like, is that your first one? He's like, is that your first? In his mind, I was already like, whatever. Right. And he told me something crazy. Like, he's like, this is good for you. He's like, why is it good for you? He's like, that's gonna open your heart chakra. His meaning is like, that's gonna open your heart and make you. And that I listened to him. Like, word, that you know, what can I say? Like, he know, man. He knows it. Like, it that. So then I start working not for me anymore, but like, okay, I have someone to take care of. So then I went to, it's like, let me get my yoga level up. Man, my life's been crazy, man. And I went to a circus school in France because I was like,
circus school?
Bro, when I'm going to tell you my story, you're going to be like, what up? So I went back to France in a circus school, bro, to, because I was lost again. So I was like, okay, let me take a moment and analyze that stuff. Yoga is very physical. It's all about body and mind. But still, what we do is not circus level. And I was like already like 29 years old at that time, bro. So I went to the circus school. Was like, I want to train a little bit so eventually I get better physically, so I can get better at yoga. But you know, as you will see, I was kind of wrong. So I went to that school, and the guy's like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "I'm 23," because you know, black people you look younger, right? So I'm like, I'm 23.
Right.
And he's like, "Let me see what you can do." So I was like, I can do nothing. He's like, okay, I'll teach you. So I stayed in France for maybe a year, still working as a model in France and training. And then I went to Los Angeles, Venice Beach, and I started doing some yoga. And this girl named Sonia, she's like, oh, I saw you in New York before at Dharma Mitra. Do you want to come back to America and teach yoga in Los Angeles? I give you a working visa. And then boom, I'm back in Los Angeles, bro.
Man.
Teaching yoga.
Wow.
And in Los Angeles, I met this guy named Grandmaster Vida. bro, all the stuff you tell you can check it out. Grandmaster Vida is like a ghetto celebrity teaching martial art to African American people. And somebody told me, go see Grandmaster Vida. And another guru changed my life, bro. But this is the next level teaching. So he was living in a big ass villa, and there was like two pit bulls at the bottom of the villa, and everyone was scared to go up there because those dogs were like murderers, bro. And then I don't know why I wanted to study with that same kind of attraction and energy. I wanted to study to that guy so much. I jumped over the door. I walk upstairs. The people start barking, but they didn't bite me and everything. I knock at the door, and I see like a dude, like a Rasta man, like look like fucking Bob Marley. You know what I mean? It's like he's like, yo. He told me, yo, nigga, still alive? It's like, yeah, I'm still alive. It's like the dog didn't kill you. I'm like, no, they didn't kill me. He's like, bro, I'm gonna teach you. It's like, I'm gonna teach you.
You got his respect. He done jumped the fence, stared the pit bulls in the eye, and was able to live to tell about it.
Yeah, man. It's another one, bro. He taught me like Chinese Qigong. Qigong is some form of like internal martial art. He told me like Kung Fu, and I got videos. You can check like YouTube, Nino Mendes, and you see my training with him. And then I went from being like an okay acrobat to start flipping all over the place, like going to Venice Beach, doing flips and back tops and all that stuff. I met another brother named March. His name is like Coach Sean, and he taught me like flipping and tumbling. And then I got my second training coming from African Americans. So I got like this India yoga style training, and then in Los Angeles I got that, I don't know, man, that ghetto spirituality again, and that was next level. And then China happened.
Talk us through how China came about. Now, did you go from LA immediately to China, or was there a pit stop in between?
So I'm teaching yoga in LA, and then my working visa is up, right? So I need to wait because my son is American, right? So I need to get a lot of paperwork and blah blah. And I'm sitting in Los Angeles, and I'm like, shit, what's next? And then I'm looking at Jackie Chan, a movie on TV, and it's like, where did you guys study? And I Google Beijing Acrobatic School. So I Google Beijing Acrobatic School. Oh shit, they have a program for people come study. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to China.
If it's good enough for Jackie, it's good enough for me.
Right? So I get in there, and then the school is filled up with like small Chinese kid, like half my age, half my size, doing crazy tricks, like crazy, bro. I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck I'm doing here? And there's like, okay, come here. And then this little Chinese girls, I remember, is like, the thing is like, okay, when she does a move, you gotta do the same move. So she does a split. She did a split, right? And I do a split. And all Chinese people looking at each other like, oh, damn, it's good, right?
Right.
And then she did like whatever. Everything she was doing, I was doing it because I was trained before.
Right.
It's like, okay, show us what you can do now. It's like, okay, leave us some room. I started flipping all over the place. Like, oh my God. And like one guy, like named Yu Lao Shi. Lao Shi is a teacher in Chinese. He's like, okay, I'm taking care of you. So every morning I start training with the Chinese team at 6 a.m., bro. Before everybody was training, I was training with them from 6 to 7 and then training all day. But man, I stayed there like for 4 months or something. But I was just too intense, man. That was too intense, bro. So I was too intense.
Like
and then I went to Shanghai. Yeah, man. And I was like, do I really want to do it? Because in my heart, I'm still a yogi, a yoga guy, traveling and expanding his mind beyond the scope of the yoga community. Because yoga can become a very secluded community. I hope we talk about it later. It's like, it's very like, they look a certain way, they behave a certain way. But I was like, no, I want to see what, if yoga is everywhere, let me go see it everywhere, right? So then from Beijing, I went to Shanghai, and then I met this lady, and she's like, come to my yoga class. Bro, crazy life, man. And then I went to yoga class. He's like, man, you're pretty good at this stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm teaching yoga. It's like, all right, I'm going to give you a working visa, and you're going to stay in Shanghai, China, and start teaching yoga. And then from that little studio, I got this big company, Lululemon, international company. It's like, we want you to be ambassadors, you know? Like, and I'm like, I don't do that, man. I was so stupid. It's like, I don't do that. I want to be ambassador. I'm a yoga teacher. And they keep coming back. So I Google, who's Lululemon? And Lululemon is like huge, man. And
Huge.
then from that moment on, my life went boom. I start teaching like hundreds of people. I start doing yoga modeling stuff in China. I start being sponsored, teaching workshops, and yeah, man, that's how I end up like here in Bali.
That's an incredible journey. So you said that the yoga community is very secluded. At what point
Yes.
in time did you come to that realization? Once you got further into the community, or did you sense that early on?
I said that early on there because at that time, like you have a 6'2" black dude teaching yoga. There weren't that many. First of all, man, like they're all like, you know, white, pretty looking women at that
Right.
time, and like some hot white dudes, like black. Bro, there wasn't that many. Even nowadays, like there's more now. Even nowadays, so that's the first thing I realized, right? So I was like, hey, and then people tend to be like, what we do is the best. We have this
Mm.
little weird in the movement community, like martial art is the best and yoga is the best. And I was like, sometimes I kind of felt that too. So when I was in New York City, I was like, let me do yoga and then go see my man Tylon. His name is Tylon, up in Harlem City, and do some
Mhm.
breakdancing. Because like
Okay.
that brother is not calling what he does yoga, but he's doing high level yoga. When you see a dude breakdancing, bro, breakdancing is like body, mind, with the music, with the beat. They are like incredible yogis, but they don't call themselves yogis. You don't have to call yourself yogi to be a yogi. You know what
Mm.
I mean? It's like people, they think that's the title you can buy. You're gonna do a teacher training, you're gonna talk with that dude and you become a yogi. Now you have to work for it. Like you have to align body and mind. You might be a yogi in certain ways, right? If you're really skilled at what you do. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, it's a very, important book of yoga. They said that yoga is skill in action. So if you are skilled in something and really good at it and aligned, you are doing yoga. So I was like, okay, the way they see yoga is not actually what yoga is, because I've been reading about yoga for so many years and trace yoga to what yoga is in America now to what it was. I'm talking about thousands of years ago. And thousands of years ago, yoga wasn't what it is nowadays. Thousands of years ago, yoga was a tool to get you in touch with your greatness, to put you in
Mm.
touch with greatness. And those dudes in Harlem, bro, they were great. So after my yoga class, like, okay, now let me learn something from my brothers, like break dancers, and I learned a lot from. They were doing yoga in the street, man. Like,
Right.
because to pull out certain moves in b-boying, you have to be in the moment. Yoga is also being in the moment, being present. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, that's why I realized, yeah, the yoga community is pretty secluded. So let me look outside of the box. You know what I mean?
Thinking about starting your own business? Make it real with Shopify, the all-in-one platform trusted by millions to sell online and in person. Whether it's merch, art, or digital goods, Shopify gives you the tools to build, grow, and succeed. And here's the best part. When you sign up using the affiliate link in our show notes, you're supporting Prepare For Takeoff and starting your business off right. Click the link and start your free trial today. When we see these brothers in the street, they're street performers. And to your point, you're actually watering down what it is they're actually doing. They're actually performing something at the highest of levels. But when we see it, it's like, oh, those are just street performers. You see them in Times Square. You see them all over the city doing their thing, break dancing. That was something that dates back to the 70s and on through the 80s, etc. And something that we birthed in New York City. You know, I'm not originally from New York. I'm originally from Charleston, West Virginia, to be exact. But all of those things that connects the music to the culture, that's hip hop. So if I'm understanding you correctly, hip hop is kind of like yoga in the sense that hip hop is not just the music. Hip hop is how the music impacts how people dress, the things that people do in the community, how they dance, how they vibe, how they show up, their swag. So hip hop is something that it encompasses all those things, and yoga is just that on a higher level. If I'm trying to explain it in a way that if somebody is completely unfamiliar with yoga, how can they relate to it in an analogy? Is that a fair comparison, or am I off base there?
No, you're like, yeah, it's right on point. Because lately I've been reading a book like I mean, the name I'm saying, like, they don't really matter, but it's called a Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. And they say that one way to attain the state of yoga is losing yourself in music. I find it beautiful, bro. It's like, lose yourself in music. And that's something that we know how to do, man. We like put some music and like you just lose yourself in it. So in that very moment, you are in a state of yoga, of complete dissolution of your own ego. So art, expression at a high level is yoga because you lose yourself in it. Like intense love is like yoga because you lose yourself in it.
Right.
Like they even talk about like supreme anger and rage when you lose yourself. So that point when you lose yourself in something is getting in touch with the state of yoga, and that's something that's it's unknown because you have to study for it and look for it and understand what yoga is all about. So when I see people very gifted at something and like they go beyond the small sense of I and expand instead of like the big I, which is I am, which is I am great. You are great. Everyone is great. But you got to find that. So yeah, those hip hop artists, like those break dancers, those singers, like they all like yogis to me because they go beyond. They lose themselves. You know what I mean? Like everybody understand that feelings like when you lose yourself in something, when
Right.
times start not existing anymore. You
Right.
playing instruments and you're in the zone, right? So let's put it that way, like to make people understand what I'm trying to get at is like yoga is being in the zone, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever your zone is, we're not talking about whatever your zone in. If you are in the zone, you are in the yoga zone, bro.
I know at some point you started to go back and forth between China and Bali. How did that come to be?
I start teaching all over the world, right? So I end up like in Brussels, in Europe. And then I don't know, I got a little ghetto relapse, you know what I mean? I got a little ghetto relapse in Russia,
Right.
you know. It's like, all right. So things got getting a little crazy. Like again, I'm like, okay, let me take a leap and see what happened. And then I receive a message from Bali Spirit Yoga Festival, and that's one of the biggest yoga festival in the world. And this girl named Megan, she's great. She's like, okay, I saw your video on YouTube. Do you want to come teach at Bali Spirit Festival? So once again, I was like, okay, I'm out. I'm leaving this place and I'm going to Bali. I'm going to Bali just with a backpack. Nothing, bro. And I come here, Bali Spirit Yoga Festival, and it ended up being like a huge festival, bro. Like every class is back in the days, like hundreds of people, and I'm meeting a lot of people from all over the world. And yeah, man, that elevated me again. And then from that moment on, I was my own boss. That's what happened to me. I realized something like I need to take care of myself, like not waiting for somebody or tell me what to do. Like I'm gonna tell myself what to do, and I'm gonna take care of my own life. And then I start doing like teacher trainings, leading teacher trainings, doing workshops, being more independent. And then I found myself again in Bali, like a very nice reset. There's something magic about this island. And I heard that a lot of people that are kind of lost come here, and some of them find themselves, some not. But for me, I kind of found myself again. And she asked me, do I want to teach at the yoga barn? So I end up teaching here at the yoga barn for a couple of months, and I come back every year. So yeah, now Bali is like I'm traveling a lot between Bali, China, and Thailand because I also like martial arts, because to me martial arts is one form of yoga, and Thailand is like big on martial arts. So my life now is mostly around Bali, Thailand, and China, and I might go next year to America to start speaking to young people in schools and start talking about what we're talking about now, and getting like to realize that you can speak a lot of languages, you can stretch your body, you can stretch your mind, you can actually do whatever you want because there's something at work which is higher than ourselves. And we have tools. Yoga is a tool to tap into it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so powerful, man. Like one of what my teacher told me something is like, yoga, like Superman, when he take his shirt off, like there's an S on it.
Right.
My teacher told me it's like yoga is like that. One day you're gonna take your shirt off and you're gonna see like a big ass S. It's like, well, I'm Superman. So yoga is kind of like that, right? And I want people to feel it because I felt it, and it's working, man. Yoga is like it's like the mystic science, bro.
Except you're gonna pull your shirt open, it's gonna be a big Y for yoga.
Yes, what? I'm super yogi, super yogi.
Man, so now talk us through the name of your studio, and I know not only you're not only just teaching yoga in China, but you've had the distinction of having these class sizes be so huge that some of them have led you to being in the Guinness Book of World Records. So talk us through what some of that consists of.
So my experience teaching in China is like the first class I taught. So in LA, when I was teaching, maximum is like 20 people or something like that. And I remember I was in Shanghai, very nervous. My first class in the biggest studio of China named Y Plus Yoga. And it's like, okay, let me get ready. Man, I opened that door. There was 90 people in there, bro. 90. 90. I was like, and I think I was still high that day too, man.
And they caught me on the wrong day.
Wrong day, bro. I was like, I sit there and like everybody's staring at me, like, oh my God. So that was my first class in China, right? And then little by little, all the classes were getting packed. Like I'm talking about hundreds of people. And then people start asking me, do you want to do like this event? And I taught a class from Miss Universe China and I know, man, all kind of stuff. And then one day Lululemon is like, okay, we're going to do something called Enroll China. And it's going to be 2,000 people. I was like, what? 2,000 people. So I go on stage and like there's a screen behind me and like 2,000 people. And it's kind of like a high energy yoga show. And I feel really blessed because that's something I don't think it's been done before. And one of the class that I taught is on the World Guinness record. It's like the most people doing a single pose together. So if you go like the pose is called chair pose, and they're gonna mention like the pose. And I was the guy teaching that class and teaching classes with thousands, hundreds. I mean, and then from that point on, I started doing a lot of workshops. And then like, okay, let me open my own yoga studio because it's very tiring to teach that many people because you have to give so much energy. Imagine doing a concert, right? It's pretty much what it feels like. And I'm speaking, I'm playing with the music and people, it's high energy. It's like doing like a concert and having 2,000 people and you make them move with you and feel whatever you're feeling, right? So it's empowering, but it's also draining. So I was like, okay, let me open a studio. So sometime when I want to teach maybe 20 people or 10 people and go right into the teaching, I want to do that. So I opened my own yoga studio named Black Dragon Yoga in Chengdu. Chengdu is a pretty nice city in China. So when I'm not traveling, I just had my studio teaching, mostly like sharing. It's like you come to my studio and we do something. I meet you where you're at. I'm not here to teach you what I want you to. I kind of meet people where they're at and teach them what they want to teach. I will learn at this moment in life because there's so much about yoga. You can learn about body, you can learn about mind, philosophy, breathing, energy. So in my studio, I'm trying to really be more like, personal with people.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now.
And that's a good point to make because a lot of times people want you to meet them where they are. And as you talk about something like yoga, where especially a lot of brothers and sisters, we're so familiar with yoga. So if you come in doing backflips and arm bends and leg bends and whatnot, there's going to be a lot of people say, man, there's no way I can do that. And you're saying no matter who you are, how familiar you are, or unfamiliar, I should say, with yoga, you're going to meet them where they are. And,
Yes.
and then grow on that foundation that is established. And that's great, man, because I think when I spoke to people, shout out to Dr. Eddie Moore Jr., who connected us, and he was just talking to me about yoga, man, and he said, he talked to me about how it changed his life. And he also talked about how he did not know what he was signing up for when he went to Bali, and he signed up for those 12-hour days, 21 days in a row. And this is the brother who played football, basketball, baseball, all three sports, all 4 years of college. And he said, and we know how strenuous that can be. He says none of that can top the intensity of what he experienced when he went through that 21-day, 12-hour-a-day experience in yoga. He says, man, he's so glad that he stuck with it because it just further elevated them. Anything that we accomplish has a level of difficulty, and more importantly, something that you don't necessarily think you can do, and you actually do it, then it just further elevates your mindset into believing, well, man, if I did that, what else can I do? And I'm sure that that was the awakening that you had all those years ago, and you've just continued to expand on that.
Yes, you said it, man. It's like, my life is the story of it can be done, and I'm going to try to do it. So let's go back to like when I was in France, like my mom don't know how to read and write French, and she doesn't know how to read and write. So people thought Nino will never be able to be good at studying. That was the first step, bro. And I was like, let me show you I can do it. Not to show you, but to prove myself.
Right.
Like, you know, there's this American guy like Tony Robbins, like a public speaker. It's like success brings success, right? You have this hurdle. Okay, I can do this. Oh, if I can do this, maybe I can do that too. If I can do it, maybe I can do that too. So the way I teach people, I'm trying to meet there where they are and build that confidence. It doesn't matter, bro, because what you can do with your body and mind is actually endless and limitless. So we're not going to be like, okay, you got to do this. No, let's do what you can do now, and today will make it better, and then tomorrow will make it better, and then tomorrow make it better. So not only you working on your body, but mostly what I'm more interested on is like you're working on your confidence, your self-confidence, and your sense of self-worth. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, I'm not really about the body anymore. It doesn't matter. If you cannot touch the floor with your with your fingers, and you cannot touch your toes, or your back is really stiff, I don't care about that, because it's gonna get better if you work. You know what I mean? So I want people to understand that little by little you can expand. First your body, then your mind, then your senses, man, and you get into like weird realms of like, you know, getting in touch with your higher self.
And that's deep,
So,
bro.
That's what I'm trying to do, bro, because I've done it myself. Like, I came to China and people was like, Chinese is the hardest language in the world. I was going outside, man. It's like, man, I was so sad, bro, because I couldn't understand. I was people be looking at you, man, and telling you
You know what
stuff.
they're saying?
You don't understand. And there's certain words that they say sometimes that they look like they're cursing, you know. So they sound like they're cursing, but actually they're not saying the N word. It's another word, you know what I mean? So they be saying that word all the time, bro. And it's like, are they fucking, but it's not what they were saying. That's the word that sound like. Man, I even called my mom, bro. I was like, man, they be cursing me out every day, calling me the N word all the time and shit. I was like, oh damn. But there wasn't that. So okay, another challenge I tell myself. You can stretch your body. You can, you know, expand what you can do with your body, but what if you can learn Chinese, right? So when I'm talking about those 2,000 people class, one thing that I'm kind of, you know, not say proud about, but like I feel good about is like I was able to teach it in Chinese, right? So like because it is possible, and then you can Google. It is possible to learn a language in your 40s or whatever. It is, but the question is like, do you want to do it? And if you want to do it, there's people like you, there's people like me that can help you do it. I want people to realize that like sky is the limit, like literally. If I did what I did, and I'm still doing it now, bro, it's possible.
Your journey is unlike anything we've ever heard. I'm keeping it real, bro. Realizing that it started in France, it made its way stateside here, and then you found yourself across the pond. You came back to LA, then you ended up coming to China. That's a movie.
Bro, sometimes like, you know, life is a dream. And you know, when I was 7 years old, man, that shit I never like I got run up by a car, and I was in the coma for 3 days, bro. And everybody's like, Nino is gonna die. And I remember, bro, when I opened my eyes and I started walking around, I told myself, and I'm talking about like a 7 years old kid, bro. It's like, man, life is a dream. Like straight up. And from that on, I was like, life is a dream, man. It's like in yoga, they call it Maya. It's the illusion, the veil, right? There's something you see and there's something beyond it, like behind it. Like yoga and my life experiences put me in touch with that, bro. The spirit is doing it, man. And you have to surrender. Sometimes we hold on, like in yoga, the sense of ego is very important. You have to let your ego dissolve to find your real self. You know, my yoga used to say, one of my yoga teachers used to say, I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, I'm something divine. And I like that, bro. Sometimes I let that thing, I surrender to it. I take my backpack, there's something in me telling me I want to go to China and play Jackie Chan. Okay, I'm going. You know what I mean? So because I ain't got nothing to lose, right? We ain't got nothing to lose, man. You don't. Living is just like, it's beautiful by itself. So that's the way I see the world. You
Right.
guys give me a lot of freedom too. So yeah, sometimes when I talk about my life now, going backward, I'm like, bro, I just flow, man. I just go with the flow, and I don't listen to them. I don't listen to what they want us to be, man. I listen to what I want to be.
What are some of the barriers that you had to push through to get to where you are today as far as your yoga journey?
I'm from West African descent, right? So my legs are longer, like the muscle are bigger. So when we say, it's kind of one sisters in Bali come tell me, it's like, I want to go to yoga, but I think my thighs are too big and blah blah. Like you need to adapt a little bit. Honestly, man, you need to adapt because asana yoga practice were made and created in India for Indian teenagers, right? So let's say your body and my body, we don't feel and look like Indian teenagers, right? So that's why I'm saying I'm adapting my teaching to whoever is coming to my room. Like in China, it's just a fact, man. Like some of the Chinese girls, they're like smaller and more flexible. So I do like super intense stretching. But if somebody else comes to my class, I won't do the same. So how I know that? Because I did it on myself. Like a lot of people say, I'm 6'2". Like, oh, you 6'2", 6'2", you 30 years old, you never be able to do a backflip when I start doing an acrobatics, right? And actually I could, because you just need to adapt. We all have different bodies, so we all have different yoga. That's why I want people to realize that too. You don't have to look and do the same thing that the hot girls are doing in Instagram. I'm not saying it's not yoga, but it's their yoga. And your yoga is different. The way you get in touch with your spirit, the way you feel your body working perfectly as a divine tool is different. Your program is going to be different than mine because your DNA, even if it's very similar, is a little different. So yoga is going to make you become very optimal and functional. So the way I'm teaching now and I'm studying is more kind of like, how can I teach everyone what they need, not what I think they need. You know what I mean? So when it comes to hurdle, you just got to see what your body need at this point in your life without being judgmental towards yourself. Because people is like, oh, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that. Whatever it is just what it is, and let's start from there. You know what I mean? So I think that's what Eddie liked about my teaching. Because at the beginning, it's like, bro, I'll never be able to do that. It's like, you will, but just take your time. It's something called ahimsa in yoga, it's non-violence. The way people, like in America, there's this saying, no pain, no gain. I don't like that, man. Why? You can have gain without pain, man. Why suffering? Why suffering, man? It's like, why suffering, bro? Why suffering? You can't, just, you guys learning how to be chill and love your body again, love yourself again, take care of your body again. If you eat right, if you stretch a little bit, if you meditate, your body's gonna thank you for it. And your body is your vehicle, man. Like whatever you put in it, like whatever you hear, whatever you see is gonna affect you in a cellular level. So I want people to get in touch with that thing that we have it. Animals have it. Animals know what to eat. Birds, they don't need anything. They don't need radars. They listen to the nature. They're in touch with it. It's like, oh, I get there. And I think that I got that in me a little bit. So when I go to places, I just align and the energy is telling me where to go. Right? So, okay, I'm here. Oh, I want to go to America. My mom told me, it's like, you've been telling me so many years ago, Mama, one day I will go to America. And I went. Do I know why? I don't know, bro. I just listen, bro. Yoga is going to teach you to listen. What is meditating? Meditating is listening to your soul. When the quiet of the mind, the noise of the mind is quiet. When the outer noises and inner noises are quiet, then you can listen to yourself. And I believe yoga can give us the tool just to do that. Go back to the source. The question is like, who am I? Who are we? Like we're like, we all god and goddesses, like for real, man. We just don't know it.
I told Eddie, I said, I'm going to do yoga. I don't know when, but I am going to keep my word. And I told him that I'm going to, make a yoga class. And as I mentioned to you before, that class may be in Bali. Who knows? But
Yeah,
I'm the kind of
yeah,
person,
man.
similar to what you said, I'm the kind of person where I'm going to like speak something into existence. That's one of the things that I do to kind of hold myself accountable. I tell people what I'm in the process of doing. A lot of times people say, oh, you don't want to tell anybody. What if it doesn't happen? I'm not concerned about that. I talk things into existence. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. And I think it's imperative, like you said, bro, let's find ways to quiet our mind so we can listen to that inner voice. Because if you have so much chatter going on, then you can't hear that inner voice.
Yes, yes, totally. You could start your yoga journey tomorrow morning, bro. Like if you wake up and take 1 minute just to slow down, listen, breathe. You're doing yoga, man. You know what I mean? It's like if you take one mindful breath a day and be grateful for it, and breathing in and bringing out, you're doing yoga already, man. And that small adjustment, I would say 90% of the population is not doing it. Just being aware of your breathing and being aware you are here and now. There's one of the great book named Here and Now. Just being here and now is doing yoga. So you can start your journey as today, man. Like you don't know you don't need a mat, you don't need money. All you need is like a quiet room, a quiet space, quiet that noise of social media and whatever news is telling us. Quiet the doubts of your mind about what you cannot do and what you can do. Like just be still for 1 minute, and the yoga journey is on. Because in that book that I'm reading at the moment, by Vignada Bhairevatandra, they said that yoga is here all the time. They say eventually it's the easiest thing to achieve because it's not like it's not there, bro. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's not like God or whatever you want to call it is not there. It's just you're not listening. You're
Right.
not listening. Like if you just slow down and listen, then you're doing yoga already. And I want people to realize that aspect of yoga. It has nothing to do with stretching at the core of it. It has nothing to do with stretching. It has nothing to do with looking beautiful and I be like, nice ass on Instagram. It's not that, bro. It's not that.
Right.
This is not that. This is just breathing, being here and being grateful for that moment. Because life is just a moment, bro. And in that moment, we are materialized and we can experience reality. We can get like a whole other podcast about yoga philosophy, but it's like yoga is like realizing that, this is a beautiful thing just to be here and having the tools because we all have them to be successful, happy, and helping people. We have them.
Bro, you know what? Now that I know that I can do yoga by just those things that you mentioned, I will start my yoga journey tomorrow. I may not be on the mat, but I will take those breaths and be mindful and be grateful for the breaths that God has, given me and just really kind of figure out the different ways to go about being peace, be still, if you will, embracing that. So that inner voice gets louder so you can be more in tune with your purpose.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. You think of yoga, I'm gonna be on somebody's mat stretching, I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be doing that. Well, you're saying to me that's part of yoga, but the main thing that yoga constitutes is really up here, like, being in the right mind state. This episode of Prepare for Takeoff is brought to you in part by Riverside, the platform that I trust to record studio quality podcasts right from my laptop. With Riverside, I get crystal clear audio and 4K video. Plus, it's super easy to use. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Riverside helps your podcast sound amazing. Try it out for yourself. Click the affiliate link in our show notes and start recording like a pro with Riverside.
Yeah, brother. It's like, it's because the more I practice yoga, the more I realize that it's more about stillness than movement. You know what I mean? So it's like the way yoga is being portrayed nowadays, like you have to move, you have to do a lot of crazy stuff. But no, man, yoga is like stillness. Because like sometimes when I don't want to meditate and I don't want to practice my breathing, I tell myself, what is more important at this moment than speaking to your own godliness? There's nothing more important than that, bro. Is there anything more important than that? It's like every time I'm like, I don't want to do it. It's like, what is it more important than a specific moment than just sitting down and getting in touch with your godliness? Nothing. And real yoga original yoga, let's say, is just that. Taking a moment to sitting with yourself, your higher self. You take a minute, okay, let me shut down everything, even the person that I think I am, the person the world thinks I am, and sit down with myself. Who I am. What do I want? What do I need? What is my soul telling me? Because our bodies and our soul are taken to us at all time. But we haven't been taught to listen, brother. Well, nobody told us. Like when you go to school, the first thing you do is listen to what this person in front of you think, what you should be knowing about life and existence. And we can go into the book history, man. Like this is an African American like podcast, right? When you talk about African history, when I was in high school, I was 16 years old, and I was listening to French history, but my mind was in Malcolm X. My mind was in Malcolm X. And I was like, have you heard about Malcolm X? It's like, we don't talk about Malcolm X here. It's like, you're racist. And then the guy's like, I'm not racist. So if you think I'm a racist, tomorrow you're going to come to class and tell us about Malcolm X. And I came, bro, and I did so good. Like that French teacher was like, respect, brother. Respect,
Right.
bro.
You got his respect.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, what I'm trying to get at is like, the real teaching is inside, bro. It's not outside. I don't believe too much about what they say we should be looking at, what they say we should be, no matter who, I'm trying to listen to the spirit inside, man, because it knows. You know what's up, man. In your soul, you know what's good for you. You know what you need. You know what you need to eat. You know who you need. Your body is gonna literally react to it. You see something you like, your skin is gonna react a certain way. You know what I mean? Like you see someone you like, or you feel the vibe, you're gonna feel it. And since a very early age, I trust that because at some point in my life, that's all I had. So when I put myself in very, challenging situation, I have to be on it, man. I have to trust that. We call it like, it's not street smart, but that's what street smart is all about sometimes. Just being able just to listen to the moment. The moment's gonna tell me what to do. It's not, it's not reacting. I'm not reacting, I'm not acting. Okay, that's what it is. I'm gonna act that way. I'm stretching, something is painful here. My body is trying to tell me something. Let me teach myself. Let me adjust. Let me be comfortable in the position. Why do I feel so much pain here? Oh shit, I should be taking care of my back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a whole lifestyle and a way of seeing the world. I love it, man. And as I told you, you don't need to buy a membership. You don't need to go to a high-end studio. You don't even need a mat, man. All you need is like a chair, sit on that chair, breathe, and watch your mind.
Nino, you definitely bestowed a lot of wisdom on us, man. As we close out, I want to give you the opportunity to leave our viewers and listeners with 3 things that you feel will help them prepare for takeoff.
Desire something. You need to have a strong desire for something, right? That's the first step. The second step, I believe, is like you need to know about that something, study it. And the third step is just do it.
Like
There's
Nike.
only 3. Yes, Nike, man. It's like you need to want it, whatever it is, you need to really want it really hard. The second thing is like you need to know about it. And once you have those 2, the third one is like materialize that. You said that word earlier, bring it into life. Because a lot of things just live in our mind, And when thing lives in your mind, they just die. It just live in your mind, and you don't want to like. But like, if you really want it, know how to do it, and then go for it, and then you got it, man.
Got to make it happen, man. Nino, I'm sure that our viewers and listeners, they're going to want to know, how can they follow your journey? They want to get in contact with you. Is there a website, email address, social media, whatever you feel comfortable with sharing with our viewers and listeners?
There's NinoMendes.com, and sometimes I put some free classes in there, and I'm going to put more and more free classes. And then my Instagram is Nino Yoga Spirit. Or I think if you just put Nino Mendes Yoga, there's something that's going to be popping up, obviously. And people are welcome to come visit in China, because I know that another thing about China, we have like a vision of China is that way and that way, but just come see for yourself, and I think you'll be surprised, because it's a very, very interesting place, and a lot of things that will be coming in the next century will be coming from China, and I think that everybody know that. So I highly recommend for brothers and sisters to come in China and check it out, and Asia, see different things, open your mind.
We have to be open to the ability to pivot in a way in which you've pivoted all those other times in your life. We may have to pivot other places in the world. And if nothing else, just to travel and visit and just open your mindset to the possibilities of which.
The word is like huge, man. I've been traveling the world for so many years, and I love it. You know what I mean? It's like I opened my mind in so many ways. Like I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for my African American experience, because without it, I wouldn't be here. I'm so grateful for my Chinese experience, my first experience. So I highly recommend people to just travel. And since I've traveled a lot, like wherever I'm at, like they're welcome to come. And I might go back to America next year, because I want to bring back everything, because that's a long journey before me, between me leaving New York and today. So there's so much that I can bring back and be like, okay, now I know a little bit more, because I've seen the world a little bit, you know?
Please allow me to just give you your virtual flowers, man, that must deserve, must continue success. And I'm sure we're going to continue to plug in, and whatever I can do to spread your journey and all of the great work you're doing, man, count me in. So once again, thanks for spending so much time with us. And also, I wanted to thank our viewers and listeners, whether you're watching on YouTube or watching on Spotify, or whether you're listening on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Audible, iHeart, or Pandora. As you know, every week, we're going to continue to bring you proven professionals or rising entrepreneurs. And all of these conversations, just like this one, will help you prepare for takeoff. Nino, thanks for joining us, my brother.
Thank you, brother. Take care.